Welcome back, friends. In the last couple of videos, we are discussing about different operators given by Java. We have discussed about arithmetic operator, relational operator, concatenate, followed by new operator. All the operators we have covered thoroughly. In case you missed any of these operator, I'll definitely suggest all of you please go back to all those videos which are there for data type 1 and 1, 2 and 3. Go through all those videos very thoroughly, then you can come back so that we can take it to the next level. The next important operator in the series is bitwise operator. So today we'll be looking broadly into bitwise operators, right? The first thing about bitwise operator is bitwise operators are low level operators. Remember this point. This is the first point. These are low level operators. By the term low level operator doesn't mean the level of bitwise operator is low than the level of all these operators. Not like that. This is not about the level like inferior and superior, not like that. Low level means this bitwise operator always operated on bits rather than bytes, right? It always works on bits rather than bytes. What that does means whenever any number, any operand, it might be integral operand or it might be character operand, doesn't matter. Whenever any operand operated on a bitwise operator, what happens? The first requirement is to convert this particular number into equivalent binary digits. Now bitwise operator will perform on each bit of this number. Whenever we are going for 10 plus 20, we are just adding these two numbers. But here in bitwise, individual bits will be operated, then the final count will be there. Right? This is the difference between all these operators and bitwise operator. That's why bitwise operator is called as a low level operator. I hope you got the concept what exactly bitwise operators are. So let us write the first point. The first point is these are low level operators. Low level operators which are operated. Why these are called as low level operators, or what low level operators means? It means they are working, or they are always works on bits, individual bits, not only bits but individual bits, and they are used to manipulate each and individual bits of a number. They used to perform manipulation to the individual bits of the number. They always operate on each individual digits of a number. They perform manipulation to the individual bits of the number, right? So this is what a bitwise operators are. So remember, as I have just discussed, every bitwise operator, to operate on every bitwise operator, the first requirement is we should understand few things. First, the number should be converted into binary. Remember this point. And whenever you are converting a number into binary, make sure you recall few points. As far as our knowledge is concerned, the numbers can be positive, the numbers can be negative. Positive numbers are directly stored in memory, but negative numbers always stored in a 2's complement form. I think this particular part we have clearly discussed in data types. We have clearly discussed this particular part in data types when we are discussing about different data types, different types of whole number. We have clearly discussed about all these concepts. If you missed that video, please go and watch that video and come back so that you can understand how the things are going on. I repeat, as we know, numbers can be positive or it can be negative, right? For positive, the most significant bit will contain 0. For negative, the most significant bit contains 1. and when the last digit is 1, last bit is 1, now the numbers stored is in 2's complement form. If the last digit is 0, it is directly stored in memory. What that does mean, suppose I want to store a number 4 in memory, integral constant 4 in memory. Since it is a positive number, and if I convert that this particular one into binary, this will be 1 0 0. Since it is integer, total 32 bits will be there, the last digit will be 0, right? Because it's a positive number. Make sure you understand this point, right? Now this is how 4 is stored in memory, like this. If I want to store -4, we need to go for 2's complement form. What is the 2's complement form of 4? We need to first find out 1's complement, and you know how to find out 1's complement. Then we need to add 1 into it. Then the final count will tell us how this number will be stored, right? And if you want to check with the Java example, Java program example, we can also do that. Let us check how these numbers are stored in memory. Then we can go for bitwise operator. Because in order to understand the bitwise operator, make sure, as we have discussed, make sure you understand all these points. Let us go for a program. Let me go for a program called as binary demo.java. Binary demo.java. Let us go for class test, public static void main, right? Let us write int a is equal to 4. Int a is equal to 4. Let us go for system dot out dot print or println. If I am writing integer dot to binary string, if I am writing something like this, let's say what is happening. If I am writing a, and at the same time let me store a is equal to -4, and let me display that one. Let us see how this things are displayed. Let me compile the program. Java C bin demo.java. Sorry, that will be bin demo.java. Right, now my code compiles fine. Let me run that program. See, it will be stored 100. See, what we have discussed, plus 4 is directly stored in memory. Like we have just discussed, 4 is, if I convert 4 into binary, this will be something like that. But whenever I am trying to store -4, can you look at this, how it is stored? It is always stored in 2's complement form. Even if you forgot how to represent this one in 2's complement form, we have clearly discussed this particular part in data types, also in operators. Please go back to all those videos and you can able to understand how these numbers are stored. Make sure you understand both these points. In fact, you missed that one. Let me go for one more time, because this particular one I need throughout the operators, right? Suppose I want to store -4 in memory. See, this is very, very vital. What we need to do first, we need to find out what is the binary equivalent of 4. The binary equivalent of 4 is 100, right? As you know, this is an integral constant, and integer will take how many bytes? Always 32 bytes in memory, right? Since this is a positive number, the 31st index will be stored as 0. Remaining all are 0, right? So total 32 bits are stored like this. Now, this is the first step. Next, what we need to do in order to find out the 2's complement, the first step towards this is, let us find 1's complement. And what is the rule for 1's complement? Convert all the zeros into 1 and all the 1's into zeros. Now in that scenario, I should go for 1 1 1 1 like this, and finally this will be 0 1 and 1. This is called as 1's complement. And in order to find 2's complement, what we need to do, we need to add 1 in 1's complement. 1 plus 1 is 1 0. Again 1 plus 1 is 1 0. 1, remaining all are 1, right? This is how your -4 will be stored. Can you just look at here? Whether the discussion is completely same that we have just discussed, last one will be 1 0 0, remaining all are 1, right? So this is how minus 4 will be stored. Keep this in mind so that that will be very easy for us to understand about all the bitwise operators, right? Okay, let's move first then, right? Sorry, let us discuss more. Three things we have cleared. First, these are low level operators. They works on bits. They used to perform manipulation to the individual bits of the number. And one thing you should be aware, or you should be recall, that positive numbers store directly in memory and negative numbers always stored in 2's complement form. Now let us see what are the different bitwise operators available in Java. Bitwise operators, like we have bitwise AND, we have bitwise OR, we have bitwise XOR, right? Then we have bitwise 1's complement. Number 5, we have bitwise left shift. Number 6, we have bitwise right shift. And the last one, this is very unique to Java, bitwise zero field right shift, or sometimes it is called as unsigned right shift. So there are 7 operators in bitwise operator, right? Among all these operators, I repeat, among all these operators, this is a unary operator. This is a unary operator, and all other operators are binary operators. Means all these operator requires 2 operands for their execution, right? Remember, all these operator works on bits, not bytes, right? Let us go for one by one. Let us talk about AND up. This is bitwise AND. This is not logical AND. We'll at some video we'll definitely look at the difference between that. So what is bitwise AND? Let us go for that. Suppose I need to operate on 2 bitwise AND 4. Remember, bitwise, all these operators are definitely work on integral value, right? Only these 3 operators are okay with integral value followed by Boolean value. Bitwise AND, bitwise OR, and bitwise XOR. These are okay with not only integral value but also Boolean value. Remaining all are only okay with integral value, not even Boolean value, right? Remember that point. So let us operate on this one. We'll operate 2 bitwise AND 4. The first step, as we had discussed, first what we need to do, we need to convert all the numbers into binary number. So this is a positive number. How the number will be stored? Number will be stored directly. And what is 2? If you try to find out binary equivalent of 2, you will be finding like 1 and 0. 1 and 0. If I'll talk about 4, remaining all are 0. Remember, remaining all are 0. If I talk about 4 is like 1 0 0. Remaining all are zeros, right? Let us operate it on bitwise AND. Now, how this one operated? As per the definition, all the bitwise operators are low level operators and they are operated on bits. So now individual bits will be operated. Now, first 0, second 0. You can treat this 0 as false, 1 as true. But trust me, these are not exactly the same that we are doing. This, for our convenience, we are treating this one. Or in other words, if we talk about bitwise AND operator will produce 1 if both the operands are 1. I repeat, bitwise AND operator will produce a value 1 if both the operands are 1. In all other cases, they will produce 0. Clear? Okay. Then 0 and 0, you'll say that this will be 0. Again, the second bit, 1 and 0, it will be 0. Third bit, 0 and 1, it will be 0. Remaining all are zeros. So if I operate 2 bitwise AND 4, definitely the value will be how much? 0, right? Similarly, you can go for some more example also. You can try that example by yourself. One thing I just want to add here, this operator, this will produce 1 if both the operands are 1. Otherwise, in all other cases, this will produce 0. Remember this point. This will produce 1 if both the operands are 1. Otherwise, yes, otherwise 0. Make sure you know this point. Similarly, bitwise OR, in case of bitwise OR, this will produce 0 if both the operands are 0. Otherwise 1. The same thing like in logical AND and logical OR. Here this one will produce 1 if both are 1. Or binary or bitwise OR operator will produce 0 if both the operands are 0. Otherwise, in all other cases, it will produce 1, right? In case of the next operator is called as XOR operator. XOR means exclusive OR. This operator is basically pronounced as XOR operator. That is exclusive OR operator. What exactly the role of this operator? This operator, remember, this operator will produce 1 if both the operands are opposite to each other. Otherwise, in all other cases, it will produce 0. So these are 3 different things you got to know, and the operation is exactly same. The process is, first what you need to do, you need to convert the number into binary number, then you can operate on bits, right? We'll take one example and you will definitely practice. You can practice all the examples by yourself, right? Okay, the first example, suppose I am going with 5 with exclusive with maybe exclusive or followed by 6. Let us operate this two number. Then we'll cross check this particular one using Java compiler. So if I'll talk about 5, how 5 is represented? 5 is represented as 1 0 1, right? Let us go for 4 bits. This will be 1 0 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. If I'll talk about 6 will be, yes please, 6 will be 1 1 then 0, right? So let us operate this using this two operand. First step we have completed. We have converted 5 into binary. We have converted 6 into binary. I hope you know how to convert 5 and 6 into binary. Now we are operating with exclusive OR. And the rule for exclusive OR is, if both the operands are opposite in nature, then it will produce 1. Otherwise, it will produce 0. Remember this point. Now, the first bit says 1 and 0. They are opposite to each other. So the result will be 1. Second, opposite to each other. The second bit will be 1. Third bit, both are 1, not opposite to each other, value will be 0. So now what we are getting, 0 1 1 in binary number. If we convert this one into decimal, the number will be 3. So if I operate 5 exclusive or 6, definitely the number will be I am going to get the number 3. Let us cross check. With your Java compiler. These are very simple. You just need to remember the rules that we are using. Otherwise, these operators are very easy to understand, right? Now, let us delete all this. Suppose I am writing system.out.print. Let me operate 5 exclusive or 6, right? Let us see what is going to happen. Let me compile. The code compiles fine. Let me run that program. See, happily what we can see, the answer will be 3. I think this particular part we have already discussed here. In this part we have already discussed what will be the answer. The answer will be 3, right? And we have discussed how this answer will be 3. This will be 0, this will be 1 and 1, right? Okay. Now similarly you can test that one for OR, and you can also test that one for bitwise AND, right? Not only integral value, we can also test the things for Boolean value. I said all those 3 operators, all those 3 bitwise operators like bitwise AND, bitwise OR and bitwise exclusive OR, they can also operate on Boolean values. If I am writing false, bitwise AND, true. Since the first one is false and the second one is true, 100% pakka, what I'm going to get? I'm going to get a false value. Let's see. Let's see whether what my compiler says. My JVM says absolutely fine. We can also operate on Boolean operators. Remember, this is very, very vital. These three operators, 1, 2, and 3, all these three operators not only operated on integral, but they can also operated on Boolean type. Remember this point. Right? Okay. Now you can definitely solve a program using this exclusive OR. If you can recall, why in the beginning of every Java program, your tutor or your instructor definitely want you to write a program to swap two numbers. You can also solve that problem with the help of this exclusive OR. You can write A is equal to A exclusive OR B, and you can also write B is equal to A exclusive OR B. It should be small, sorry. Then finally you can write again A is equal to A exclusive OR B. Without using third, we can also take the advantage of this one. If you try this one, if I know I have also shared with you how to operate on these operators. Now you can operate on this and you can easily find out the value for all this, right? Okay. Now bitwise AND, bitwise OR, and bitwise exclusive OR. I think all these three operators are clear to all of you, right? Let me tell you one difference between bitwise AND and logical AND. You should remember these 2 points. If you can recall, at some point of time we have discussed logical AND. The second operand is only executed or only evaluated if the first one is if the first one is true. But here both the operands are mandate. Both the operands like 5 and 6, they will be definite mandate to operate. Right here, the second operand might be or might not be evaluated. That purely depends on the first operand. We have also discussed this particular one very thoroughly. If the first one is true, but here doesn't matter the first one is true or false, the second one is definitely going to be operated. So the second operand, we can write the first and the second operand are mandate to evaluate. First difference. Let me talk about the second difference. The second difference is this is a bitwise operator and this one is a what? This one is a byte operator or logical operator, you can write. The third one, what it produces, it now produces one integral value. It always produces integral value, or if you are operating on Boolean, it can produce a Boolean value. But here in logical AND, it only allows, I repeat, it only produces Boolean value. It cannot produce anything than that, right? But here the operands could be both. Either it could be integral or it could be integral or it could be Boolean. But in case of AND, in case of logical AND, it has to be, it has to be Boolean. It cannot operate on any operator other than Boolean. Remember the difference between these two, bitwise AND and logical AND. Similarly, you can also figure out the difference between bitwise OR and logical OR, right? You need to answer that question by yourself. Remember, this is a very, very vital question for your interview room. Make sure you understand this point, right? Now, then after, let us go through this bitwise complement operator, once complement operator. This operator is basically called as once complement operator. What exactly once complement operator is? Once complement operator, what it does, it basically changes the zeros into 1 and ones into zeros. Remember this point. It converts 0 into 1 and vice versa. Right? I repeat, this is the only unary bitwise operator. Remaining operators of bitwise are binary operators. They require two operand for their execution, but this one only requires one operand for its execution. Let us understand this one. Suppose I am trying to find out the ones complement of 4. Ones complement of 4. Before going through this, we have to make sure how 4 is represented in memory, so that we can understand how to use this complement operator. How 4 can be used, how 4 is stored in memory, you know. If I'll go for 4, I'll be writing like 1 0 0. Since integer are 32 bits, we can go for 3 4 5 6 7 8. Right. Similarly, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and remaining one more 8 sequence are there. 3 5 6 7 and 8. 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, 32 bits, right? So this is how 4 is stored in memory, right? Now the next question is, we are trying to find out ones complement. How to do that? Remember, ones complement, what it will do, it will convert all the zeros into 1, all the ones into zeros. Means now the answer will be here, this 0 will be 1, this one will be 1, this one will be 0, and remaining all are ones. So this is my final answer, and this will be in binary format. Remember, this is my final answer in binary format. Now, whenever this one will be displayed using system.out.println, whether the binary number will be getting printed or whether the number is converted into decimal, right? Now always you can see this number before going into output will be again converted into decimal. Make sure you understand this point. They are never displayed in binary format, right? Now if you can observe here, the most significant bit for 4 is 0. That means this is positive. Once I have extracted ones complement, now this 0 becomes 1. Since the last digit is 1, you say, sir, the number is negative number. Make sure you understand this point. This is very, very vital. Otherwise, you could not able to find out the exact value. I repeat, you could not able to find out the exact value of ones complement of 4 in Java, right? Now this is a negative value. And how the negative values are stored in memory? They are stored in memory in 2's complement form. Make sure you understand, you remember this point. Otherwise, calculation will be very, very difficult. Since the last digit is 1, this number is now negative, right? And while converting a number which is directly represented on 2's complement form, how should I convert? We had a shortcut method for that. We have discussed that one quite earlier. What we need to do? We need to look at the position of zeros, not ones. If the number is represented using 2's complement format, I have to find out the position of 0, right? What is the index position of 0? The first position is 0, second is 1, third one is 2, right? So what is the formula to find out, to convert this one into decimal? The formula is, we need to put a minus sign, then we need to write 2 to the power 2. Why 2 to the power 2? Because I have to find out the position of all the zeros. Now 1 0 is there and that 0 is present at index 2. So I have to write 2 raised to the power 2. Why 2? Because the index is 2, right? Then after that one, add 1 minus 1. So can you tell me what will be the answer? Minus 4 minus 1, the answer will be 5, right? So one's complement of 4, always it will be 5. It will be always 5. Let us cross check this one. Let us cross check this one in our Java compiler. Let's see what our Java compiler says. Let me go for that. We can directly write of 4. We can directly write that, no problem at all. Sorry. Let me compile the program. Code compiles fine. Let me test. Now this is fine. This is 5. So one's complement of 4 is 5, and we have already calculated that particular one. Then one more example, we'll conclude this bitwise one's complement operator. Suppose let us convert negation of or one's complement of minus 5. We'll try to find out ones complement of minus 5. So the first thing what we need to know, how minus 5 will be stored in memory, then we can think for this ones complement operator, right? So the first thing is, first let us find out how 5 will be stored. Since it is a negative number stored in 2's complement form, right? So for getting a 2's complement form, the steps are, let us find out how 5 will be stored. How 5 will be stored? 5 will be stored like 1, 0, 1, and remaining all are zeros, right? Then second step, try to find out one's complement. Remember, this one's complement is not this one. This is what we are doing. We are trying to find out how 5 minus 5 is stored in memory. Make sure you understand this point. Find out one's complement. In one's complement, all the 0 becomes 1, all the 1 becomes 0. Now everything here will be 1 and 1, 1 up to 32. The second thing, I need to add 1 here. So what will be the value? Value will be 1, 1, 0, 1, and all the ones. All the ones are here, right? All the ones are here. Now this is minus 5 stored in memory. This is minus 5. How this will be stored in memory, right? If you want to cross check, we can also go for that. Let us cross check what will be the value of minus 5 if I want to store the value in 2's complement form, how it should be look like, right? Let us go for that. Suppose I am writing a is equal to minus 5 here. Minus 5 here, right? Let me erase this one. Let us find out. If you want to see the difference, we can do that. The code compiles fine. Let me test. So say this is how minus 5 is stored. 1, 0, 1, 1 followed by all ones. This minus 5 is actually for the first line, this line, right? Now, let me copy this one. Let me copy this one. Now, I hope you all could able to understand how minus 5 is stored. How minus 5, this is how minus 5 is stored. Minus 5 is stored in memory, right? Now, this is minus 5. What was my requirement? My requirement was, I was in a process to find out one's complement of minus 5. What is the role of one's complement? It will convert all zeros into 1 and all ones into zeros. Now in that process, all the things from here to here will be 0. All the numbers will be 0. And this 0 will be 1 and remaining also 0, 0, right? Since the most significant bit is now 0, the number is positive. So while converting a positive binary number into decimal, not 2's complement, what I should do? I should looking for 1. While converting 2's complement form, I should look for the position of 0. While converting direct 1 into binary, I should be looking to 1. So what will be the value? The value will be 4, right? The value will be how much? 4, right? So let's find out. If we operate minus 5, the value should be 4. Let us see what my compiler says. Let us see what my compiler says. This is minus 5 presentation, and if I am right, let me write like a, sorry, one's complement of a. Let's find out. See, this is how it is represented. And this is how the final things will be there. This is how negation of a or one's complement of a is presented. If I want to print the value, what I need to do, I don't have to go for the conversion. I have to write again only, I have to write only this much. Let's see what will happen. See, the value is 4. The value is 4. Just look at here. The first one says how minus 5 is represented in memory, and the result is, and you can see here, let me tell you, the first one says how minus 5 is represented in memory. The second one says one's complement of minus 5, how one's complement of minus 5 is stored in memory. If you can recall, remaining all are zeros except the last 3 digit is 100. So if you convert this one, it will fall into 4 only. Since the most significant bit is 0, the number is positive. So this is 4 only, right? So this is how one's complement operator is basically operated. right? And we have discussed in both the cases, in positive number cases, in negative number cases. The only reality is it converts 0 into 1 and 1 into 0, like that. The next operator in this series is left shift, and the second one is right shift, right? In left shift, what is happening? In left shift, what is going to happen? Suppose you need to confirm. If I want to left shift, suppose the thing is I want to go for 4 left shift 2. Let us understand this one, then we'll write the statement. If I want to represent 4, the number will be represented as 100. Remaining all are zeros, right? Because the number is a positive number. Now when I say left shift 2, what I'll do? I have to remove 2 numbers from the left side, 2 zeros from the left side, and add 2 zeros at the right side. This will be the final answer. This will be the final answer, right? So I need to remove specified number of digits from the left side and add that much of 0 at the right side. This is how left shift operators basically perform, right? In that scenario, if I'll say the number is 100, and if I'm going for a left shift, 2 numbers will be removed from here and it will be added. Now let us convert this one. Index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer will be, clearly the answer will be 2 to the power 4. That means 16. So if I go for 4 with a left shift 2, the answer will be 16. Don't worry, we'll check this out, right? Similarly, if I'll tell you I have to go for minus 4 with 2, the first thing we need to understand how minus 4 will be stored. Or let us cross check this one. Minus 5 with left shift 2. We'll check this one, right? Since we know minus 5 is stored in memory in this format, because it's in 2's complement format. We have clearly discussed this part. So what we need to do, we need to remove 2 1s from the left side and we need to add 2 zeros at the right side. Now can you please tell me what will be the value? Remember, this is again in 2's complement form because the most significant bit is again 1. So what will be the value? The value will be 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 to the power 4, right? And put a minus here, put a minus 1 here. This will be your final answer. 2 to the power 4 is 16 plus 2 plus 1 minus 19 followed by minus 1. I hope it will be minus 20. 16 plus 2 plus 18 plus 1, 19. So this will be minus 20. So if I write minus 5 with a left shift 2, definitely my answer will be minus 20. Let us cross check. Let us cross check. See, suppose I am doing, let me write the entire one. I'll go with this, let this operator be there. I'm again writing system. Let me copy this one. I don't want to write one more time. Right. Now what I need to do is I'm writing a left shift 2. Let us write a is equal to 4 or a is equal to 5, whatever. Let's go with a is equal to 4. If I'll do that, let's cross check what will be the value. Code compiles fine, sorry. Code compiles fine. Let me run the test. Now it is 16. It is what? It is 16. Can you please tell me how it is 16? Can you please tell me how it is 16? We have already discussed, right? Similarly, if we write this one like a is equal to minus 5, and we have seen that value should be how much? That value should be minus 20. 16 plus 2, 18 and minus 20. I think that one we have calculated. Let's see whether our calculation is fine or not. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. You can easily cross check, right? Now, make sure you understand this point, because the major part here, you need to understand how the numbers are represented in memory. If you can do that, you can happily calculate all of these. Negative numbers, positive numbers, left shift, right shift, everything. And right shift is just a reverse to that one. Right shift for positive numbers and right shift for negative numbers. Here you need to take care of this too. For right shift, we need to take care of this too. For positive numbers, this is same as left shift. Like we need to, if I have to represent 5, suppose 5 is represented like this. Yeah, 5 is represented like this. If I write 5 right shift 2, what will happen? Two numbers will be erased from the right side and similar number of zeros will be added at the left side. Now this will be your final answer. Remember this point. Remember this point. Specified number of digits will be removed from the right side of the number and specific number of that much of number of zeros will be added at the left side, and the resultant will be this one, and you need to convert this one into binary. So that will be your final answer. This is for positive numbers right shift, but in negative, for negative numbers, make sure you understand this. Make sure you understand this. Suppose this is a negative number. I want to write 5 right shift followed by 2. Followed by 2. What is going to happen? Of course, 2 digits, I repeat, 2 digits will be removed from the right side. But at the left side, 2 ones will be added, not zeros. This is one exception. This is one exception. 2 ones will be added, not zeros. So the final value will be this. Again, this will be in a 2's complement form. And if you want to convert this one, this will be again only 2 to the power 0. If I add a -1 here, I'll find -2. 2's complement form. This is not a direct form, right? So you have to make sure while operating negative numbers on the right shift operator. If you operate a negative number on the right shift here, this is instead of 0 fill, this will be 1 fill. This is not 0 fill, remember that point. But here in left shift, in both the cases, for positive numbers, for positive numbers as well as for negative numbers, for positive numbers or negative numbers, both are 0. Both are 0. But here for positive numbers, 0 will be filled. For negative numbers, 1 will be filled. Make sure you understand all these points. But if you still want, my right shift should be followed by a 0 fill, whatever the thing it may be, for that there is one more operator called as 0 fill right shift operator. You can call this as 0 fill right shift operator. 0 fill right shift operator, right? What exactly that one? What exactly this particular one? Let us understand. Suppose I am writing the same thing. For positive numbers, positive right shift and 0 fill right shift are absolutely fine. No difference in that. But for negative numbers, suppose I am taking this one into consideration. Remember this one into consideration. Suppose I operate here. Let us see the difference. I operate here 5 right shift 2. We have just discussed what will be the value. The value is like 2 ones will be removed here and 2 ones will be added here. So we are go on adding, the final one will be 1 and 0 because these 2 need to be removed, right? And the final answer will be accordingly this. But if we operate on this on a 0 fill, what will happen? Now instead of this 1, now these will be replaced with 0. Remember this point. Remember this point. The final one will be 1 0. Now since this one is a positive number, most significant bit is positive. Now we need to convert this particular number into a binary, into a decimal number. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how big the number will be? If you want to convert, you can convert. If you want to write very clearly, we can do that. Suppose I am writing like -5 0 fill right shift 2 or unsigned right shift 2. So what will happen? Instead of, we need to add 2 more zeros here, right? And finally the last one will be 1 0. So how many ones will be here now? 2 and 2 are 4. Remember 32 minus 4, 28 ones are there. 28 ones are, right? So if I want to convert this one, how do I convert? We can convert like 0 into 2 to the power 0 plus 1 into 2 to the power 1 plus 1 into 2 to the power 2, up to it will go on and on, 1 into 2 to the power 29, like that. So you need to calculate all these values and the final value will be bigger value, right? Right? I hope you can understand this one. So whenever you say 0 filled right shift, or this operator can be called as unsigned right shift. right? Unsigned right shift. Let us check this one, and after then we'll conclude the session. Fine. Okay. Let us check, cross check that one. Let us go for -5 followed by, we'll go, this is left shift. Let us talk about right shift. If we'll talk about right shift, here it is. A, next one is right shift. Sorry. And the next one will be same, but instead of only right shift, I'm going with unsigned right shift, right? Unsigned, if you want to write something, we can write unsigned, or we can write A with 2 plus, if you want to check. Similarly, here we can write this one plus instead of double right. Let us cross check what is going to happen. My code compiles fine. No, there is a problem. There is a problem. For binary operator, bad operand, sorry. Bad operand type for a binary operator. I need to write like this. I'm sorry. Let us cross check. I have to put one more bracket here. I have to put one more bracket here. I think that bracket is not here. Right. Compile this program. My code should compile fine. Yeah, it's compiled fine. Test. See, when I am writing A right shift of 2 only, -2 is the answer. When I say A unsigned right shift 2, can you see the number? It's a bigger number, right? But here it's only a number, because the first one will be, this one will be 1 fill. This one will be 0 fill. The second one will always positive, and the first one depends, either it could be negative or it could be positive. But if you are operating on a negative number with a right shift, it always gives you a negative number. But here, even if the number is a negative number or the number is a positive number, always it is going to give you a positive value, right? So these are all binary or bitwise operators we have in Java. And make sure you understand each and individual operators that is provided by Java for all this. I repeat, among all these, the first 3 operator are always operated on both the data type. One is integral, it is okay with integral value, followed by it is okay with Boolean value. Only these 3. Remaining all are okay with only integral value. In all other cases, Boolean cannot be operated on bitwise ones complement, bitwise left shift, right shift, or bitwise unsigned right shift, right? Hope you all are clear about all these operators. Make sure you have checked all these operators with different sets of example. In case you could not able to understand, please write your questions, put your doubts on the comments, so that I'll try to make you all clear about all those points, right? So thank you all for joining. With this, we come to the conclusion of operator series. In the next series onwards, we'll look into different sections of Java programming language. So thank you so much for being there. Thank you so much for this session.